Side Scrollers is brought to you by you. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/sidescrollers. It's time for Side Scrollers on youtube.com. With me, Stuttering Craig. You got a goal? Go get it. Adam Krigler.
Hi, buddy.
Vlad.
Hi, chat. I love you. Mwah.
And producer extraordinaire, Travis Key.
Hi, guys.
And brought to you by you, the G2 community at patreon.com/sidescrollers. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on planet Earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and Twitch. Man, that game came right on up. Those are the popcorn, Blabs.
What the hell was that?
It was legitimately
a burp.
It was legitimately the popcorn. The popcorn came up like right before we got started. It's a popcorn. It like came up my throat.
I thought he hit puberty and then he was burping all at the same time.
What's going on, everybody? I'm like the theater kid from The Simpsons. Hey, everybody!
Oh my gosh, I was not expecting that.
Me neither. It was awesome. Hey, everybody! I'm Stuttering Craig.
Puberty Craig.
It's just Puberty Craig. Let's go. Also joining us today, Travis Keys, but will not be speaking. So goodbye, Travis. Also joining us, the greatest gamer in the room is Adam Krigler.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Oh man, just nearly choking.
Same as usual.
Yes.
Yep.
It's
Trying to get some
popcorn
words
instead
out.
of words.
Yeah,
Still coughing? Oh no, that's the
Still
popcorn.
No. Oh, just the popcorn.
But you are feeling better though.
Yeah, I feel great.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah. Been so for the first time, I had to take an inhaler. I've never done an inhaler before, but I had to do that to send. So did that, helped it out, helped the lungs. Had a anti-inflammatory thing, and been taking modern medicine to help me get through it. It's helped, which is good.
Modern medicine.
Yes.
Brought to you by Pharma.
Yay!
This episode of Side Scroll is brought to you by Pfizer.
They probably would sponsor us.
No, they wouldn't. We're way too small.
Hey, any good press is what they're looking for, I'm sure.
They don't. They're just rolling around in their giant monies. Just talking about this will probably get us flagged, but that's okay. Whatever.
Well, then I'll go ahead and just say, they'd rather just spend the $10,000 a month fines on just playing commercials for their shit.
Is that all it is 10 grand?
Yeah, that's it. And they make more money off the products being sold because of the commercials than it's worth it.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
On the post show today, I want to show you there's a commercial that I am fascinated with.
Okay.
And I've talked about it before, but it is a pharmaceutical drug commercial that it's been up for probably 6 weeks now, maybe 2 months.
Oh, okay.
And,
It's very specific.
it is very specific, but I want to watch that with you guys on the post show today because it is like watching drug and pharmaceutical ads and then going through and actually dissecting what you're looking at is an amazing, it's an amazing hobby of mine. And
That'll be good.
It's awesome. So we'll do that today on the post show today. We got a big one today because obviously we got all the news and stuff. Did you guys hear about Robert De Niro?
No.
No, but
Good.
it's not on the docket. I used the word
Awesome.
right. I was like,
We got some interesting stuff for sure with Robert De Niro. Not only is he crazy, he's got some other life news happening.
Is he crazy? I don't even know about that.
He's from Hollywood,
He's
so
been out there,
chances
isn't he?
are. I'm just saying,
Okay.
he's been in the Hollywood bubble for a while, so I don't know.
he's out of touch with reality, we'll say at best.
I believe that.
There's a greater than zero chance that is the case for Bob
Okay.
De Niro.
Has anyone ever called him Bob De Niro before?
Yeah, that's what his friends call him, apparently. So yeah, Bob. I've
I guess
heard
we're
him.
not friends with him.
heard of-
So.
No.
Robert.
Robbie. Robbie D. Anyways, if you guys are watching over on Rumble, hello, good to see you. You can do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button, whether you're on Rumble or on YouTube. Greatly appreciate that. And you guys tuning in over on Twitch, hello, hi, pleasure to see you guys every single Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time. We have a Twitter account. It's Side Scroller Pod. You guys can find us over there. And tomorrow we're going to be on Geeks and Gamers. It's our Wednesday show, so we'll be live over there. So mark your calendars if you're like, hey, how come you're not on the YouTube channels? Because we are over on the Geeks and Gamers YouTube channel. So make sure you guys go over there and subscribe. And they have a live show they do every single day. It's kind of like a sister show to us, kind of. It's called Geeks and Gamers Daily. They go first, then we go second, and that's over there. So it's gonna be fun. Also, speaking of tomorrow, after the show, we're returning with Blabs versus Castlevania Part 2.
Level 3 and beyond.
To level 3 and beyond.
I'll say this: like I said, I spent some money. I had a guy in Fiverr put together an edited down version of it, and there's a point in the video where Blabs is trying to go up a staircase. That's it. She's just trying to go up a staircase, and it's about a 90-second clip of this like immense struggle of Blabs trying just to go up the stairs, and it's probably my favorite 90 seconds of any video I've watched in the last 6 months. It's amazing. So
How do you see this now?
yeah, I'll that video should be done here in the next day or so. It had some copyrighted music in it, and I'll make sure to make it available for patrons first, and then it'll go live over on the YouTube channel. Also, this Friday we have Shredder's Revenge, which will be great. We're going to play a little TMNT at 1 o'clock after the show. Yellow Flash will be joining us, as well as Darth Call. Should be a great time. A little 4-player action, maybe 5-player, maybe 6-player. We'll see. Also tomorrow, I think Fear the Beardo is going to be on with us tomorrow.
Sweet.
So that should be
Sweet.
really. I haven't had Beardo on yet. And also, one thing that I decided I'm going to do more of on this channel, because it needs to happen. Damn it. I had a request. I've talked about doing like a Craigathon for a while.
Craigathon,
right?
Great word.
Mm-hmm. A Craigathon of just me playing video games for a long time, and in trying to pump the Patreon and all that fun stuff. Well, I decided, based off feedback from the G2s, that coming up starting on Monday after the show at 1 o'clock, I'm going to start the first ever Funathon. The Super Mario Funathon starting on Monday. Now, here's the thing. It's going to be really fun. I'm excited to do this. It's going to be 1 to 4 every day, because it's got to be done by the time my kids get home. So about a 3-hour stream after Side Scrollers from 1 to 4. And I'm going to go through every single mainstream Mario game for the most part. There's some games.
Crazy.
Define mainstream. I'm just curious.
Like your Mario 2, Mario 3, Super Mario World, Mario Odyssey, games like that. Games that are in the Mario.
So you're skipping the Game Boy games.
One Game Boy game is on the docket.
Which one?
Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. So
it's a good game.
It is a good game. So
that's actually what I was playing when I lost interest in Boogie talking.
Oh, really?
The other day.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm not joking. I think it's still in there. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, you're actually playing the actual Game Boy version. That's nice. Well,
Yeah.
so we're doing that. So that's going to be on Monday, and hopefully, it's going to be on Tuesday, and then it's going to be on Wednesday, and then it's going to be on Thursday and Friday, and it's going to go till as long as it takes to get through all the games. And I will. So we're going to go from game to game to game to game to game all the way through, and there will be other games that I don't have scheduled, which will be able to be unlocked through support, and you'll be able to screw with me through different punishments and different ways to play. It's going to be really, really fun. I'm looking forward.
I gotta say, I think you should throw Super Mario Land, the first one. I think that should be on there too. This is such a classic. It's fast, dude. You could beat this in 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's
a quick game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Just rock it out.
Maybe we will. Maybe we will. I haven't. This is the first time I've talked about it outside of last night. I mentioned it previously, but I haven't talked about what games in particular. But I will say,
Okay.
I'll let you guys know more as we go throughout the week here. But that'll begin on Monday. I'm really, really excited about it. It's the first ever Super Mario Funathon with me every single day. So about
why did
3
you
hour power.
why'd you go for Funathon instead of the Craigathon? But then you started saying Craigathon and now it's Funathon. Which one is it? I need to know.
So the original idea of a Craigathon was like a 24-hour thing. Was like where it doesn't stop.
That's insane.
But a Funathon means it's just about fun and getting together, and it's going to start and stop. So it's going to be a consistent programming because, like I said, I'm not at a point in my life where I can go like 24 hours straight playing video games because I got like responsibilities and adulting to do. So
Yeah. Sure.
So I gotta fit these things in during traditional hours. Then I can come back at night at 10 o'clock after everyone's asleep, and then I can come back and hang out a little bit more. So you're gonna see a lot of me coming up starting next week. It's gonna be really, really fun. If you guys are hanging out.
There's a guy named CB Gray. He's a Destiny streamer, and he loves watching Pokemon streams where they collect all the Pokemon in one game, in one stream. They just don't stop until they have them all.
Mhm.
And he's inspired by this, and he is currently live right now. And he's been live for how long has he been live for? 7, 8, 9 days now, I think.
Wow.
What?
Now he has a camera on his bed. So like he goes to sleep, wakes up, starts grinding. He's currently trying to get every single exotic that is currently attainable that you can get in one stream. He is currently
Wow.
217 out of the 222. So he's only 5 exotics away from finishing this. So it's pretty cool.
What is this guy?
His name's here. I have his stream up right now. Let me share my screen. We can
Yeah, sure.
you can
So
see what-
I've definitely thought about. There we go.
So you can see he's got his list of exotics that he recently got. On the top, it's remaining. Anarchy, Teraba, Legend of Acreus. I think that's Collective Obligation and HS. Hierarchy. No, not Hierarchy Needs. I'm not sure. Oh, Heartseeker, maybe. Yeah, probably Heartseeker.
Wow.
But yeah, he's getting it done. He's got the subathon. So he's had all these different tiers. He's giving away a PC at 5,000 subs, which I guess he hit. And then at 5,500, he's guaranteed to do a Destiny 1 Pokedex challenge, which is kind of cool. These are fun. I mean, and he's got pictures of all the exotics that people are, whenever he gets it, whoever says wherever he tapes it where they want it. So he's just got them taped all over his room right now, which is kind of funny, but
Nice. That'd
Yeah,
be kind of fun to. That'd be kind of fun to do.
Yeah.
With like my back wall. I have this big back wall waiting to be filled up. So maybe the
Well,
GTs can get on
What
that.
happened
On
to
that
that
during
sign?
or maybe your mom can actually get the sign that
Yeah.
That's on my mom, not on.
It's only been
Labs.
3 months.
Blabs, did you email her?
Craig never gave me the email.
Craig, you said you were going to give her the email.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
all Craig's fault.
you can. Everyone can email my mom. It's mom.sidescrollers
CraigsMom.com.
at craigs.gmail. There it is. That's it.
Okay.
Everyone go to that and email my mom.
Imagine if it's an actual
Not
email that
actual
you just gave
advice.
away.
I don't think at mom at sidescrollers.craigs.moms.gmail is a
Someone's
an
gonna
actual
make it
domain.
now. Someone's
That-
gonna
that's
make
right.
it and they'll be like, uh-huh.
right.
What's amazing is that there are people who will take that and someone will create that email account and
And then pretend to be the mom.
then pretend to be my mother, and which is amazing. Blake came in with the $2 super chat, getting us started today. Thank you so much, Blake. Greatly appreciate that. It says Blab versus Castlevania, the reason the internet was invented. Let's go. Thank you so much,
Well,
Blake.
Well,
Pretty good.
Well, Adam,
Pretty
what
good.
do you know?
I know
I saw
nothing.
I saw that. I know that the 199 came in from a little bit of raid over there. Hey guys, thank you very much.
199.
You guys are coming in. Welcome on
What's
out.
What's up?
Okay. Let's see. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to talk about. We got the Funathon starting next week. We got Blast vs. Castlevania tomorrow. We have Shredder's Revenge on Friday. And then, of course, if you guys are looking to start a podcast, like Platypunk yesterday mentioned, they're going to use the StreamYard link down in the link down in the description. where you can sign up for a free account. Just use that link. We've actually seen a benefit from that, from you guys signing up. So thank you guys very much.
Guys.
Yeah, really, really appreciate that. Platypunk was the first to go in and take the step in their podcasting career. So please keep us updated on when your show launches and how all that works. So looking forward to it. So, all right. Let's just check in on Travis. Travis, how are you, buddy? All right, there he is.
This is fine.
He has no idea how he's doing. That's what I took from that.
How did I get here?
All right. Well, so we got news today. We got plenty of news to talk about. But
I got news for you.
But before we get into that,
No. Oh,
no,
too
no,
soon?
no,
No. Okay.
wait,
Sorry.
hold on.
My
Wait.
bad. I was just excited.
Before we get into that, I actually want to talk about my experience last night, and it's the.
Oh no! Sorry. Too soon still?
Still
okay.
He's really
my bad.
excited, okay?
My bad. Experience last night. Go on.
It's okay. It's okay.
Right.
So last night I went through and I played for the first time legitimately in 25 years, maybe. The game came out in 1996, I think, when Ocarina came out.
When I was born.
Yeah, when you were, I mean, yeah,
I was born in 96.
Did you play it when it came out, Blabs?
Yeah, I popped out of the womb. I was like, give me the game.
Controller was in her hand. I'm ready,
It was
world.
the same size as my hand, right?
Well, I went through and I played this for the first time in a long time. I reviewed the game when it came out on the 3DS, which was, I don't know, 10, 11 years ago now. And my thought on the 3DS version of the game, which was, it was a 3D upscaled version. It was kind of redone and the graphics looked better, was that it's great. The problem is that it was on the 3DS and that it should have been on the Wii U or whatever the home console was at the time.
It was released in 98, not 96.
Oh,
you
I
liar.
was 2 then. I should have been
98?
able to
Okay.
play it then.
All right, so 25
Thank you,
years.
Trav. Thank you.
So it's been
Lying.
25 years since I played this game, legitimately, like as an N64 game. And I went back and I was playing it with open eyes, because the one thing that you continuously hear is that Ocarina of Time it's the best. It's the best game ever. It's so good. And I played it for an hour and a half.
I don't
last
hear that.
night. Really?
I don't hear that often. No.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Ocarina of Time is thought of as like one of the greatest games ever made. Just traditionally. I think that's not a controversial statement at all.
I liked Ocarina of Time.
I think a lot of people
I
do.
would never have used those to describe it.
Well, so I went through and I played it. And like I said, I played it on the Switch version, which was an upscaled version of it. So you can see like all the polygons and you look at like the backgrounds, and the background kind of looks like shit,
Minecraft.
and it's also kind of the charm of it. But I played for 90 minutes and I kind of like forced myself to enjoy it as I went through and I played it. I didn't find an overwhelming amount of joy while playing it. And I was curious if you guys have ever had those games that you look back and you're like, I think I'm really going to like this game, or I really, really have fond memories of it. Because I did have fond memories of this game, but I went back and played it last night and I was like, okay, it's all right. And by the way, take a look at this really quick. I go look at these amazing, and this was awesome back in the day, but this is these graphics here for it. It just looks so
Looks like that
unbelievably bad.
Windows
I
like
mean, 98.
screensaver thing where you just be walking through like those mazes in the early 90s.
Right.
That's
right.
what it looks like, that kind of view.
And Adam, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. It is 1998. And that's the thing that I continuously go back in my mind here is I put myself in that mindset, but I also put myself in the mindset of somebody who would be new playing this game for the first time, right? What if Blabs was to play Ocarina of Time for the first time? Would
Why,
Blabs
though?
enjoy this game?
Why would Blabs play this game?
Why
Yeah,
wouldn't
why
she
would
play
it?
it? Because
No,
it's
why? Why would she play it? What's the reasoning for her to want to play this game?
because old heads like myself would be like, you got to play Ocarina of Time. It's one of the greatest games ever made. Its reputation is that it's one of the best. If you were to ask the chat, I would say you would find of the 300 people who are watching right now, I would say you could find probably 10% of the people watching would probably say this is the best game they've ever played. So there's a
This
reputation
is the
behind
best
this
game
thing.
you've ever played.
I'm just saying, like, look, like
Oh.
I would think that's probably 10% of the people watching right now think this is the greatest game ever played. And I mean, you can see, right? Like it's there. People feel
One
this way.
person.
Well,
That was one person. You said 10%. I need at least 30 examples.
okay, sure. Here's a poll. I'll put it up.
He's like,
Put it
I
up.
will make this happen.
No, but
All right, wait. Let me break something down. So I think back at the games that I grew up playing that I really love that I look back at now and I'm like, oh, I can't play that anymore.
right.
And Diablo 1 is one of those. I loved Diablo 1. It was so good. And then I went back and I played a little bit of it 2 years ago, maybe a year ago. I don't remember exactly. It was relatively recent. And the movement was so slow. It was excruciating because I was just took forever just to get through town. And I don't remember that being an issue when I was playing it as a kid. But now I'm like, I'm so used to faster movement and better graphics. And, I know that when I first played Diablo 1, it was incredible for me. Like, I loved that game growing up. It was such it's one of those games I could sit and just play. You were playing Diablo 1 yesterday? Wow. But that doesn't mean that it's not the good game that it is. It's we get caught up on what we have now. I think that's the thing. You have so much to compare to Ocarina of Time that it's just not the same thing anymore. There's an itty bitty tiny spider right here. You can't see him. He's
I
very,
don't
very
like
small.
spiders. Make it go away.
Wait, you see the little dot right in front of my
Yeah,
hand?
but I thought it was a speck of dirt on my monitor at first.
It's not. It's just this tiny little. What's up, little guy? Anyway, I like spiders. He can stay.
I know.
But do you know what I'm saying though? We're comparing. You can't take Ocarina of Time from what it is and say, oh man, it doesn't. It's not the same anymore. You got you know the story. You know where. You might not remember where everything is. You're not exploring it with this like new eyes that Blabs would if she were to play it. Right. And then, of course, Blabs would be comparing it. She said a cloak being backwards is game breaking.
It
right?
was game breaking.
All right. So like, yeah, forgive me if I don't expect her to say this game's amazing. And, she would see some blush. She said Minecraft.
You
It's
know
like,
what? You know what? It can be
Oi,
charming.
that was the first word out of your mouth when he said, look at the graphics. Well, Minecraft is huge right now. Why? Because of the gameplay. Because of the fun of using your imagination to get into the world, not because of the blocks and the graphics. The graphics are shit, but that's not the point of what Minecraft is, right? It's you get to craft and create your own world,
Mhm.
and that's the fun of it. So like this game, if you've never played a Zelda game, if you had no idea what this game was and you just started playing it and you had no comparison to any other game, you would probably think it was a fun game, which I did when I played Ocarina of Time. I thought it was a fantastic Zelda game. Do you understand what I'm saying? I feel like you're being a
Mhm.
little you're just adding nowadays looking at this and going, man, I wasn't enjoying it anymore.
Oh,
What do
you
you think?
muted Craig.
I still
So
can't
I'll,
hear Craig.
so I'll say this, right? And I
Okay.
think what you're saying is there's some validity to it. But whenever I go back and I look at games like this, that I haven't played in a long time, I do try to put myself in the eyes of both myself when I played it then, and put it in perspective, multiple perspectives, right? The perspective of somebody new playing it, somebody who has experience playing it, and I try to look at it pretty objectively. Try to. Now, I will say this point in particular in the game, right? I'm a big. I don't believe graphics make a game, right? And
I
I've
agree.
talked about this era of video games has not aged well at all, right? I've said, my metaphor for this is the puberty of video games, where
Mhm.
video games are changing. There's polygons, but they're not really used the right way. They're not quite there. There's this 5-year, 6-year, 7-year window where games are blocky, but you can see what's coming in the future, right? Now, this point in the game is I actually very much enjoyed. This is a little dungeon. This is the very first dungeon, and it's this still has that like Zelda charm to it, right? In the idea that you go through and you end up making your way through this dungeon, then you end up circling back around. You're like, oh shit, now I'm here. You see this place, and you're like, how do I get there? And then you make your way around, and then in 10 minutes you're there, and you're like, oh, that was awesome. That was a really fun little journey to get there. This game still has that, right? But I think for me, and maybe the thing that I didn't remember about this game was the hour and a half that it took from the time I began to get into like the main quest of the game. Because I went through here, and there's probably, of the hour and a half that I played, probably, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes of it was just looking at dialogue boxes and reading. And that to me just slowed the entire experience down. And once again, putting myself in the shoes of somebody playing this for the first time in 1998, seeing this, you needed those dialogue boxes to explain what was happening, to explain the story, how to use the controller. This is how this happens.
Exactly.
Right. And so it made sense. But once again, going back and playing it today, once again, games have progressed. And
Look at that nose.
that's the guy from Lon Lon Ranch. But it was it was interesting. I found myself not enjoying the game as much as I hoped I would enjoy it.
Did it feel like a chore at some points?
Reading it felt like a chore, if that makes sense. Because, I felt
You're
like I was
used to the fast pace of nowadays, I guess. So maybe.
I felt like I was being stopped every like 5 minutes, or even less than that, every like 2 to 3 minutes to explain something. And I realized, once again, it's early in the story and they got to lay out the plan. I get it. But I felt like it ruined a lot of the momentum while I was playing it. So
that's 25 years of game companies learning how to add a proper tutorial that doesn't take you out of the game, that flows well with the game, that doesn't do exactly what you're explaining. Like you're stopping and you're like, that's what people were complaining. What's that game that came out? Was it Dead Space? Or no, it wasn't Dead Space. It was something like Dead Space. Just came out recently, and there was a lot of streamers playing it, and the first freaking 30 minutes of the game, you'd be in combat, and it would like freeze, and some window would pop up and be like, you can do this right now by pressing this button. And everyone was bitching because it was like you were in like heated combat, right? And then suddenly it would freeze and tell you like how to do something. And then you'd go back into combat, and it was like, oh gosh, like way to freaking give me some major blue balls when it comes to this combat system. But then, of course, people eventually got through that, and it became enjoyable again. So it's like you're talking about the first hour of a 1998 Zelda game that is kind of groundbreaking at the time, especially, right? I mean, it was it was on the 64. All these new games were coming out. Mario 64. They were doing this like open world esque 3D running around, and it was new. It was like a new era. So they were trying to break into it. Callisto Protocol, yes, that's it. Thank you, everyone. That's it.
So listen, I don't disagree with you. Like I said, I don't disagree with you at all. I think the thing is, when you go and you look, and while you've been speaking, I've been taking a look at like traditional best Zelda games of all times list, right? And so I pulled up a couple, and this is just off a really quick Google search. They listed like the top 18 Zelda games, right? List all 18 Legend of Zelda games ranked from worst to best. You say, well, why would Blabs play this? Well, Zelda is an iconic franchise in all of gaming, right? People say, hey, Zelda's the best. It's the best, right? But as you scroll here, what's the number one game? Well, not Link's Awakening. It's not even Link to the Past.
That was a great game.
Not even Breath of the Wild. No, it's Ocarina of Time. Said the reputation of this game is what what it's all about. Even if you were to look at the IGN list, like IGN has this list. Where do these things rank on of it? I by the way, I've not scrolled down to see where it ranks on this. Let's find out. So number 3. So in the grand scheme of this iconic franchise,
Mm-hmm.
why would Blads play it? Because it's reputation, right? And I personally agree. I think actually Breath of the Wild is the best Zelda
See,
game.
I have the game. I've never played a Zelda game before. I feel like I probably should play that one.
What, Breath of the Wild or Ocarina
Any
of Time?
Zelda? Any
I've never
Zelda?
played a single Zelda. Like I said, I'm not a big Nintendo person. My first ever playing Nintendo was on the Wii.
Right.
I mean,
Well-
besides Nintendo DS, but even then, I didn't actually really play any Mario games on my Nintendo DS. It was like that Monkey Balls and Professor Layton and all that.
I just think this was and Blabs, it would be interesting for you. Like when I said, hey, Blabs, have you played Ocarina of Time? You said, what's that?
Yeah.
Right.
I had no idea.
Right. You had no idea. Right. And that's fine. Right. Because you were born when this game came out. And I don't expect you to know what it is. But its reputation is what drives new people to play it. And the fact that it's available like on your Switch and you can just go in and download it and it's available for people to play. The idea is that an entire new audience may have an opportunity to play it. And I think that their first impression will be like, But
the reason it's gained that nostalgia value, the reason it's gained that notoriety amongst gamers is the era that it was shining, right? And look at who was gaming at that time and who's the gamers now and what those gamers are playing. It shifts around, right? When the 64 came out, there was a lot games were exploding, right? It was in this era of just like, what can we do? What's next? Like the sky's the limit with video games. And the late 90s, early 2000s, like games were, the economy was relatively good and solid and people were exploring what they can do with stuff. And nowadays it's every company's firing people and it's in a slump. There's been slumps throughout the past couple decades. It was an era of good times for gaming. So I guess should be specific, right? For the video game world. So there's also that to think about, right? It's not just the game itself. Don't get me wrong. I like Ocarina of Time. I really enjoyed it. I had the 64. I loved the 64. I had many 64 games and thoroughly enjoyed it.
When was the last time you played it?
I have no idea.
I
Couldn't
would
tell you.
You have a Switch?
I do.
It'd be interesting for you to go back and just play like the first 90 minutes of it. Get to the castle, get to the point where the story opens up a little bit, kind of go through that tutorial and just kind of get your thoughts. Because maybe it's just me. And it probably is just me. Because I remember going through and playing the game as a kid, and there's these set pieces that you remember in the game. I don't remember the entire story. I don't remember everything about it, but I remember certain points in the game. And I think that's where like the nostalgia is really driven, but
do you actually read the dialogue boxes? Do you sit and read it all?
I mean, last night I didn't, but
so you just spam through it?
I mean, I read, I would say probably 50% of it, right? But the tutorial of like, go to this place. Well, I know to go to this place, this is why you need to do this. Okay. I beat the game already. I know how to do it. Right. So I probably read like 50% of them, but like when the owl's talking and it takes like 3 minutes to get through his dialogue text, you can just like skip through it really fast. So I didn't read any of that stuff because, who wants to watch me just sit there and read, while I'm playing a game? I think that's
you read it out loud. That's
right. Of course. Yeah, of course. But we got I think there's like a really interesting conversation. By the way, as far as the poll goes, I said my thought was that 10% of those watching thought Zelda Ocarina of Time would be the quote best game ever. And I drastically undershot that. It's 31% of those watching today.
That's ridiculous. Y'all are liars. The best game ever. The best game ever of all games, Ocarina of Time.
Listen,
really
maybe
guys?
they were thinking of all that specific like Zelda games.
That wasn't the question. Is Ocarina of Time the best game ever? That's ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe they thought as in like of Zelda.
No, I mean,
did you guys think
then
that?
I don't know, Chad. What are you guys doing?
No, that's.
So
I don't believe that.
Like I said, I thought it'd be about 10%. It's
Someone
30%.
said, I thought you meant Zelda.
I thought you meant in Zelda genre. Ha!
Well,
that wasn't the question.
Before I put it out there, before I said it. I mean, that's exactly what I said. So I mean, we can redo
You
it.
gotta
but-
make a
Well,
new
some
poll.
people, know how to read. I guess
Listen.
some people don't.
Just make a new poll and be very specific, and then you'll be okay.
Specifically, the best game ever, not just Zelda. And it's like this.
Yeah,
super
there you go.
right? All right, we have a lot of super chats here to read off, and we
Hold
appreciate
on,
it, guys.
wait.
Yes,
Before we move on, I just want to say Mark the Cyborg's in chat, and he said it's a super normie take, and tells me you've played a very limited amount of games.
Hi, Mark.
I agree. It's nailed it, dude. Nailed it.
I think Mark, that's a super elitist gamer take that tells me that you're not compassionate to the average person.
Well, listen, I actually have a question here. So you said that this was the game that you were kind of like meh when you went back and played it, and so it would be Diablo 1, right? For you, Adam, when you go back and play, you kind of like meh, or are you happy to play it again?
I find it hard to play it because of how slow it plays. I would play it if it was like I don't know, a run feature was added that I could actually like move faster. It's just so drainingly slow.
You saying Bolt mode?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't care when I was a kid because I didn't really know the game. Or, it was like slowly venturing into crypts and being able to be an adventurer going into crypts was freaking cool, right? It
Mhm.
didn't even dawn on me that it was moving slow. But now that I've played Diablo 2, which one of my all-time favorite games, and beyond all these other, I like top-down isometric style games. Like those are, those I favor those Zelda games actually over the open world games. I don't know, I kind of like that kind of gameplay. So going back, it's like, oh man, it's very hard for me to go back in time in games, especially if I have never played them. It's very difficult for me to do it because I have a Steam list that screams at me of wasted money because of how many games I haven't even played that are on that list, right? And I don't even, I just have the selection of available downloaded games, so I don't have to see the amount of game. And a lot of Steam gamers know this. They have a lot of games that they just haven't played, and they're fantastic games, and they're huge games, and game of the year games that I've never played. For me to go to play a new game, it's got to be amazing. That especially if it's single player, because if it's not multiplayer and I have to play it by myself, it has to be able to keep me engaged gameplay wise. I think gameplay for me is the most important thing over story, over graphics. The gameplay's got to feel great. So if the gameplay isn't there, I'm just like, that's why people shit on my opinion of The Witcher 3, because I did not enjoy it at all. Because I don't like Assassin's Creed games. Same way, same reason. That gameplay is just not. It's just not.
There
It's not
are
there
a,
for me.
there are a lot of games that you look back on that were even released, I don't know, a decade ago, 15 years ago. I think of so let me give you a few examples of some games that that have not aged well in just 1 or 2 console generations. One of the biggest games for the original PlayStation 3 that actually had multiple games in its franchise was a game called Resistance: Fall of Man. And if you were to
heard of this,
which that was a game that at its time was like, whoa, there was this, it was like an alien shooter game, right? You go through from place to place. But if you were to go back and play that game today, it would feel so rudimentary and basic. It is a basic bitch game. I know because I went back and tried to play it and I was like, what the hell? This game sucks. Like that was like, man, this game's horrible. And I played through the entire thing and like loved it back in the day. Let me give you a little more modern one. About 3 months ago, and this is going to piss people off. About 3 months ago, there was all the hype in the world when Nintendo announced the release of GoldenEye 007 for the N64 on the Switch.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. It blew up.
Guess how many
Everyone's going
days?
crazy.
Guess what happened? People played it and they're like, "Oh, this isn't as good as I remember." And then it just dropped off the face of the earth. They had like a 12-hour window, but it got people to upgrade their subscriptions on Nintendo, which is exactly the purpose. So, I think that's CDI says, Craig talking trash and GoldenEye just into the stream. No, I'm just saying, like, this wasn't me. This is the internet speaking. Right? The internet was the one who realized this, right?
This
I
is
already
good.
knew it.
Craig,
Right.
Craig, this is fantastic. This is people realizing that nostalgia bait is real. And
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
that smack to the face of like, oh wow, I'm that actually wasn't that good. That IP wasn't that good, or some maybe it is, but what I'm remembering of I'm reliving it in my head. I mean, every time you relive a memory, you're changing it a little bit. There's no full truth in any memory. It's like every time you rethink about something, it might change it a little, embellish a little, or forget something important, a key detail. And like you said about Ocarina of Time, there are specific parts of the game that you really remember that are the things that when you think back Ocarina of Time, you're thinking of like when you first get the ocarina and you learn the first song, or
Mhm.
whatever it is, doesn't matter. These people, we need more of that nowadays. Be like, I've lived that. I want new. That's what people need. More of that. Like, I want new. I don't want this old regurgitated shit. Right? Give me something new. Give me a brand new game that I've never heard of that is amazing.
They
Right?
won't do it
No
though,
one
because
wants
risk
no one
factor.
wants risk. Exactly. Yeah. Same with movies. Same with
Yep.
TV shows. All this stuff. It's all the
Disney
same.
live
They
action.
don't want to. They don't want to risk money. They want to make sure that we. That's why Nintendo was like, release GoldenEye, that'll up our subscriptions, and it worked like a charm.
Right.
Yeah.
What
For
is
me,
yeah,
I was
yeah,
gonna say
Babs, go
for
ahead.
me, like the game. So over the summer, I would play the remake. Like I'd go and play all the EA games of Harry Potter, and I got to the fourth one. And the fourth one was the one you could actually play with friends, like right next to you. Very first time ever. Never had that for Harry Potter. I went and played again on Twitch. I couldn't even finish the game. It was so bad. I was like, this is definitely not as good as I remember. I remember having a great time playing with my sister. It was shit. And you know what? Roller Coaster Tycoon was not as fun as I remembered.
Wow.
Mostly
Right.
because it froze my PC after I closed the game. I couldn't turn anything off.
Well, that's not the same.
Well,
I'll tell
sort
you.
of.
I'll tell you
It's
how to
not as
do.
good.
I'll tell you what a good example of a good remaster is. Demon's Souls.
Well, I didn't
They.
say anything about a remaster.
I have a few things that I'm about to say,
Sure,
Plabs.
fire away.
Bear with me, right? So,
Fact.
Demon's Souls came out on PS3, and it was the graphics at the time were great, and the gameplay for being the first of their Souls series was still amazing and groundbreaking for me. Like as a game, that when I first played that game, I was like, "Holy shit, this is incredible!" So with all these remasters and remakes that are going around, I'm not. Well, I actually will talk about Final Fantasy VII because I think that's pertinent. When it came out on the PS5 and I played it, it was exactly as I hoped. Just overhauled to the nines, man. Everything, the graphics were beautiful, but the gameplay it was just smoother if you can get smoother. And the graphics incredible, but the game itself identical. The exact same game, nothing changed. It was just a beautiful version of it. Whereas Final Fantasy VII, they had to it was a remake, right? It was a lot of fun because of the nostalgia value for me on Final Fantasy VII, which I love that game. I would have preferred, and I think I speak for a lot of the fans out there, would have preferred a one-to-one story remake of the original. Sure, make it an action RPG. You can change it. That's fine. I'm okay with that. It was actually fun to be Cloud and swinging his sword around like a freaking badass, like we know he is. And I enjoyed it. But then they started altering the story and adding these weird ghost things, and it just became different. But if they had just stayed true to the actual story, it would have been fantastic, and I think it would have gone way much bigger of a hit with the fans and brought more people in because there would have been better reviews. People would have been like, "Holy shit, they actually honored the actual story. This is fantastic." I'm just sick of them wanting to change things instead of take Ocarina of Time. If they were to do a remaster of that game, like, not a remake, a
Right.
remaster, because the game itself is fantastic. Just remaster it. Imagine playing Ocarina of Time on a new system with graphics better than Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, right? Because obviously it would be further down the line in the future. That would be amazing, and I bet that would be the one that Blabs plays and goes, "This game is freaking awesome. Wow."
Right.
I liked the way that it wasn't fully open world, right? You kinda had linear paths, but you can explore and find things, which is fun. I don't think everyone likes open world games. I enjoy open world games sometimes in specific type of gameplay, but not 100% of the time. It feels like everyone's just trying to do either battle royales
Mhm.
or open world explore everywhere games.
Yeah,
Those
but
those are the big hits.
and then you find it's all very repetitive side quests, and it's just basically doing the same thing over and over again. So I'd rather them not do that because it just takes away
Exactly.
from the game.
That's why I liked Elden Ring so much. It was open world. You can go anywhere. You can go all the way to the freaking. There's certain parts that are cut off because you have to like find out ways to unlock it. But the biggest thing about Elden Ring is it did not hold your hand. It didn't say follow this quest. Here is your compass. Just follow the little ding on your compass. No, there was like there's you could go to like the grace points they're called, but I call them bonfires because just the Souls series, whatever. You can go to the bonfire and the light will bend in a certain direction, and you could go in that general direction and maybe find something. But that's kind of
Mhm.
like all the help you get, and that's great. I love
Could you
that.
do like
That's
multiple quests at the same time? That way, if you just happen to find something, you could do it. Because since there
yes,
was no tracker, really.
but there's no place that you could be like, what quests do I have activated? Nothing. It
Oh,
doesn't
you
tell you
don't?
anything. No,
Oh, doesn't.
not at all. You
Oh,
just have to know, like, oh yeah, I
it really
talked to
doesn't
that
hold
guy
your hand.
here. Then you talk to, then he appears over here. Now why is this guy here? Oh, it's because I talked to him here. Now he's here. And then if you find the different places that he's there, then finally you'll get like a great weapon when you finally meet him at
Hmm.
the final spot. It's like the amount of stuff that's
This is
put into
Elden Ring,
those.
you said,
This is
right?
Elden Ring. I mean, that's a very Souls style, though. They've been doing that for a long time. But I love that vibe because every time you play through, you might talk to someone differently. Oh, I talked to that guy. I know he just sells that freaking stupid thing. But if you didn't talk to him, then maybe this other person appears later on and says, "Oh yeah, I hate that guy. Oh, you don't like him either. Here's this good item that you wouldn't have gotten because It's like I love that when From Software does those kind of things. So
Yeah, that's nice.
So to bring this back to Ocarina of Time, you mentioned the idea of a remake, and it was mentioned in the chat. Well, there's been a remake of Ocarina of Time. They did a remake on this.
remaster,
Well,
not a
okay,
remake.
sorry. Yes, you're correct. A
But okay,
remaster.
it was a remake
It was
on
no,
3DS.
it was a remastering. They just
Okay,
upscaled the graphics, right? And they
sure.
made it. They gave you 3D. So this is what it looks like. And people say, "Oh, it looked awesome," and it did look awesome. But you got to remember, you're playing on a tiny little screen,
It does
right?
look much better.
Well, this is the N64 version. So here's the
Oh, okay.
N64 version, right?
Oh, that
And this
looks way
is
better than your gameplay just because of where it was.
right. And here's the 3DS version, which you look at it and you're like, that looks good. But the problem is, once again, this is still a
Doesn't look
decade
much
ago.
different. Doesn't look
Right.
much different though.
Right. It doesn't look that much better. So once again, if you were to bring this into a new engine
Right.
itself, and you can see like it looked fine for once again a decade ago.
But it's the
You know,
same.
yeah.
It's the same vibe though. I'm talking like Breath of the Wild graphics,
Right.
or beyond, right? Because they're gonna have to come out with like the Switch 2 or something eventually,
Right.
right? I mean, is there a plan for a new Nintendo console? I feel like they're kind of already pushing the Switch to its limits with Breath of the
What's
Wild, and now Tears of the Kingdom is coming out.
So it's funny you mentioned that because actually I saw an article today that Nintendo's like, no, nothing's coming this year. So I think it'll definitely be a little bit before you see a new Nintendo console.
So that there's a few of these shots that are very clearly nicer, like that one right there. That
Yes.
castle looked way nicer.
Mhm. Yeah, but once again, just like this looked great for a decade ago, but things have changed so much since then. So, there's like the side by side. You can definitely tell the
Yeah, look
difference
at
between the
this.
two.
Yeah, his face
Right.
is much better.
Right, of course. But
And
I
his
still think
outfit.
it can be done. So, like I think that to kind of put a button on this whole
Sure.
conversation, specifically about Ocarina of Time, I think that this era of gaming, the N64, and this is holding true with a lot of games, right? The N64, the early PlayStation games, that era, I think is the sixth generation of video games, technically. They that's not going to be looked at very fondly. Now, a quarter century later, now there's tons of opportunity to take those games and remaster them, not remake, like you said, remaster. And I think that Ocarina of Time is begging for that, just absolutely begging for it.
I'm not opposed to a remake. All right. When it comes to taking the first hour and a half of the game and adding like a tutorial zone that you have the option to go through, or like, hey, do you need the tutorial? Go through this direction or not, right? Or maybe not that like black and white, but I don't know, streamlining it to make it more friendly for everybody. Whereas like if you do need help, it kind of allows you could maybe select a tutorial in the beginning of the game, like options, just be like turn it off. So when you play it, you're like, I don't need, I know how to play Zelda. Like I understand. I have a general basis of how to play any Zelda game, so I don't need that. That I'm not against. But
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, you change the
Well-
story. It's always annoying that more than anything.
Well, so there have been let's see. So there's a several mods, right? Of like Breath of the of that fans have made, has been pointed out several times in the chat by CDI. Says fans have made this game better, look better. And like here's an example, just to kind of show you. This is an Ocarina of Time. This is a 3D 4K version of it. That just to kind of put in perspective, kind of an upscaled version that you can play, that fans have made using, I guess, this is using texture packs, and it looks kind of modern. Here's the 3DS version. This is what they did. So they've taken the 3DS game and then taken it and upscaled it even further. So pretty cool. Pretty cool to see. And like I said, it to me, the thing about this is it's a shame that they have to leave it to the fans to do this for these games. That's what sucks. But either way, but I do think that when it comes to these games and the look and the feel of the N64, even games on the Super Nintendo and the NES, those era games will age better than the N64 and early PlayStation games. Just because the graphic style is a little more timeless when they're not as blocky and gross and straight noses and stuff. Anyways, so we have a ton of super chats, and I want to read these off, guys. Thank you very much.
I want to hear what people have to say. I'm sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna hear some
lot.
opinions.
A lot here. Thank you guys very much for all this, and please continue. Let's go and hit the thumbs up button if you guys are just tuning in. Really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button if you guys are popping in for the first time, and you guys watching over on Rumble. Thank you guys very much for being here. I do see your Rumble rant over there. I'll get to that in a minute. By the way, over 100 folks watching on Rumble. We're continuing to grow every single day. 111 folks watching on Rumble. Hit the follow button over on Rumble. Hit the Rumble button. Let's keep on growing. Thank you guys. For the Emperor came in with the $4.99, says Link to the Past, greater than Ocarina of Time, greater than all other Zelda games, in my opinion. I
a great
don't
game.
disagree. Yeah, Link to the Past is
So
the
good.
best. Jonathan Davis came in with a $19.99, says never leave that option available to us, Craig. Your wall will be filled with pictures of balls. Talking about putting back there, Jonathan. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Appreciate that. Platypunk came in with a 10, says, had a bit of a pilot episode last night. The channel and show is called Goes Nowhere, Does Nothing. Planning on doing another one tonight. Well, Platypunk, keep going at it, man. Looking forward to seeing it. Send me a link on Discord to your test show. Robin Will says, are your evening streams archived, Craig? Yes, if you want to see my evening streams, I unlist all of them after I'm done. But if you go to the Side Scrollers page on YouTube, youtube.com/@SideScrollersPodcast, and you scroll down, there is a playlist of it's the Stuttering Craig Show playlist, but all those are unlisted. That's the only way you can find them. I unlist them just to keep the focus on this show. Valiantis came in with a 10. Thank you so much. Says, sup, Craig? Hung out with you at Super Nintendo World. What's up, Vito? Good to see you. It says, I never got to own Ocarina of Time, Ocarina on 64, but own a copy of Majora's Mask in 64. I actually own Ocarina on the GameCube, which includes Master Quest mode. Yes, yeah, they did a GameCube port of it, and they included a Master Quest mode, which actually made it harder. It was great to hang out with you out at Super Nintendo World. We had a great time, and thank you so much for your generosity while we were there. Really, really good dude. Melodic Method came in with a 10. Says, "Hey Craig, I wonder if your previous experience with Ocarina of Time affected your expectations beyond what was reasonable. I've had the same happen with movies and books." That's interesting. I think over the course of, like I said, 25 years, and I've talked about this game a ton, but everything that I've talked about was built around my previous experience and nostalgia. So I think there's a strong possibility of that. Do you guys, Melodic Method mentioned other movies and books. Have you guys had the same thing happen? This is not just a game thing. I think there are things where you can go back and you watch a movie and you go, "Oh, that wasn't as good as I remember."
Yeah, I mean, like when you're a kid and you read these books and you go look at them when you're older and you're like, yeah. But I mean, these books were based up for kids, right? So as you grow up, change.
I'm trying to
Right.
think
In
of
that
movies
sense.
that I've recently watched, and a few of them come to mind. Stargate was a favorite as a kid. Waterworld, I randomly just like that movie a lot.
Right.
The Fifth Element also. I've recently rewatched them, and they're all fantastic still.
Really?
I don't have I can't think of a movie that I loved as a kid that I've recently watched that I was like, "What the hell why did I
Yeah,
like
honestly,
that
I can't really
movie?"
think of that unless you count like the movies for
Like
kids. I don't always see those.
those movies that I think back and yeah, dude, I enjoyed Waterworld, man. Yeah, I like that movie. I thought it was cool.
I'll give you a
Um,
movie.
what?
I know exactly what movie it is for me. A movie I loved as a kid. I actually love this. I love the sequel, TMNT 2, Secret of the Ooze. That was my favorite Ninja
Really?
Turtle movie
Over
growing
the
up.
first one?
I loved
Man, the
Secret of
first
the
one was
Ooze.
so good.
Now, you're right. The first one is a better movie. And going back and
Still.
watching, yeah. And as an adult, I understand that. But as a kid, I loved Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah.
It was
It
so
was a
much
little
fun.
more fun. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
little more fun
Yeah.
than the first one.
But you go back and you watch it now, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's fun for kids, just not.
But the
for
first one holds up though. The first one still holds up.
It's dark. It's
I
gritty,
watched
it's
that
good.
like 2 years ago. It's good. That's a good movie.
Extra Zero came in with a 9.99. Thank you so much, Extra Zero. Appreciate that. Says one of the best tells is a game. One of the best tells a game is great is when its reputation of being great is polarizing to some. There will never be a quote best ever game. Everything is subjective as
Agreed.
a product of its time.
I want to make
Yeah.
something clear. I want to make
Mhm.
something clear. Waterworld is not one of my favorite movies. It's just one of the movies that I watched recently that I expected to be not as good as I liked when I was younger.
Oh, that
And
movie.
it was still the same. Like, you know what? Like, still, I still enjoyed it. It wasn't like, what the hell? What did I just watch? So I just want to say,
I thought that was what you were talking about for Waterworld.
Yeah.
That was a weird movie.
I
will say
I had a
this.
big crush on the love interest, that woman. She was a babe.
The best thing about Waterworld, outside of, I don't know, the best thing about Waterworld is the stunt show that is at Universal Studios. Because the stunt show that I watched like 2 weeks ago when I was there was
Yeah.
spectacular.
Cool.
Like, it's an outstanding, like the fact that they still have a Waterworld stunt show in 2023. And it's like one of the most popular things at Universal Studios outside of Super Mario World is awesome. I love it. Great show. Boondoggle came in with that tier 1 for 3 months over on Twitch. Says, I'll drop my resub. Thank you so much, Boondoggle. Appreciate that. Greatly appreciate that. Samurai Knight came in with a 5 super chat. Says, Ocarina of Time was the game that made 3D action adventure what it is. Most of the mechanics made in the game are still used today. Ocarina of Time walked so everyone else could run. I think it's pretty accurate. Like the lock-on ability, the ability to queue in on a certain character or a certain enemy was something that was revolutionary at the time. And I think it's important to recognize for sure. Mr. Gentleman came in with the 2, says, Majora's Mask is greater than Ocarina of Time. It's true. It's damn true. Which I think that's kind of like you hear that a lot. People are like, well, Majora's Mask is great. That was the sequel, Blabs, to Ocarina
It
of
was
Time.
just different.
Yeah, that's like, to me,
It has its charms.
Are you gonna do like a
pinky
giant
out.
like Zelda marathon?
Pinky out.
That's the pinky out. Ooh, I enjoy Majora's Mask. You know,
Extra Zero nailed it though with his
I
super
agree.
chat.
I agree.
It's all about the era that it shined for you. The Zelda game that you happened to be playing that you fell in love with. That's it.
Embraceware came in with a 10. Thank you so much, Embraceware. Says, just replayed and finished Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. It's still my favorite. Perfect balance of fun and challenge. Oh, man, that's interesting.
On Nintendo?
Yeah, the
OG.
NES.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
Cool.
that's interesting because that is a game that's very polarizing because that's in that time where sequels of games, there was like Mario 1, then there was Mario 2. Mario 2 is totally different than Mario 1. And the same thing with Zelda and Zelda 2, where they were like, well, let's try something different. And people were like, nope, fuck that. And they slapped it to half court at the time. So they went back and they made the games, the third game, very similar to the first game. That's interesting because Zelda 2 it's a fine game, but it's not one of my favorites personally. Yumi and the Movies came in with the $20 super chat. Thank you very much. Says, currently trying to play/beat every Sega Master System game released in the US on my gaming channel, and I'm loving every minute of it. Even the bad and impossibly hard games leave me wanting to play more the next day. Retro gaming rules.
Did you play Beyond Oasis yet? Because that's actually on the Sega Masters thing too. I actually got it. It was like $2.
Oh, nice.
I haven't played it yet, but I'm gonna stream it eventually.
I did something very similar where I played through every NES game on this channel. I went through and I did every single one, and I actually rated them A through F. It was a really fun thing. I wanted to do the same with the Super Nintendo, but the thing about like the NES games is when I say play through, all I did is I played like the first 5 minutes of the game, and that's it. And but it was really fun. So every day I'd play between 7 and 20 games. It just kind of depended on how long my stream went. But it was really fun to go through. And my ratings are actually still on the Discord. I believe you can find every single rating I put together. But L-Dub came in with the $10 super chat. Says, Craig, my theory as a non-Zelda fan is that Ocarina just starts slow paced, but a game like Majora's Mask gets into things quickly. I found Majora to be more playable of the two. So I've actually never played through Majora's Mask before, which I think the game always kind of scared me in a weird way. It made me uncomfortable. Maybe that's a better way to say it. It has that weird moon flying down from the sky, and you only have like 3 days to beat it in game. It's really, I don't know. It's a weird game. It's like the artsy fartsy Ocarina of Time. But thank you so much, Elda. Appreciate that. Jocko Johnson says Ocarina of Time has lost some of its luster over the years, but Mario 64 is still an absolute joy to play today. Thank you, Jocko. And I'm with you, man. Like I think that Mario 64, a lot of those games on the N64 are begging for remasters, right? Remasters, not remakes.
Someone just asked me, have I ever played Chrono Trigger? Absolutely. One of the best RPGs ever made. I love that game. I actually replayed it like 3 years ago. I got it on my phone. Or where did I get it on? Maybe I got it on my 3DS. I think maybe my 3. Actually, do I have it? I think I actually have like the Chrono Trigger, these old Game Boy cases. Let me see. Chrono
Game Boy
Trigger.
cases are awesome.
Boom.
Hell
right
yeah.
there.
Boom.
Love this game. Yeah.
Love it.
It's my little gaming.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
My little 3DS game. Let's see what I got. I got Mario
wallet.
Party, Super Mario 2, New Super Mario, excuse me. And then New Super Mario. Final Fantasy Tactics Act 2. Really disappointing. Those are
This reminds me of Adam showing like family photos or something. Look at this baby, and then
Flipping
look
through.
at this one. This is my
Love it.
daughter.
A Link. Did you ever play A Link Between Worlds? The Zelda game?
No, that's my biggest my
Oh,
biggest
man.
Zelda regret.
It's
I hear it's
good.
spectacular. Yeah.
It's so good. Do you like to Link to the Past?
I love Link to the Past.
What the hell are you waiting for, dude?
I know.
Holy
I know.
shit!
I know.
It's
I know.
like the successor of that game. Wow, you need to play that, dude.
Crazy
Wow.
Gamer. I love comments like this, by the way. Crazy Gamer goes, guys, I think these side scrollers are fake gamers. So,
okay,
like,
sure.
I love, like, if you don't play what people want you to play, you're fucking fake.
Or if
Yeah,
you don't
I
like,
see
if
that
you
all
don't
the
like what
time.
they play.
Right.
And-
I've
love
never
it.
played
Craig
the
and I
older
are very
NES
different,
games.
too.
I don't game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, Craig and I play very different games too. You know, he likes the action, fast pace, get in there and get the game in. Where I like, you know, more RPG style, building up your character. Yeah, you know, even if I like the grind, if I like the game, I enjoy the grind. Like I don't mind. You know,
Mhm.
even if something's repetitive. If I'm like trying to get a god roll gun, or if I'm trying to get that freaking one item that has like a 2% chance to drop, like I will freaking do that with the chance to make my character stronger. Anyway,
No, I enjoy the grind too, as long as it's a quick grind. If it can be done, like
It's not exactly a grind.
that
but
sounds
is
like
it?
botting. That sounds like botting.
Let me give you an example.
Go on, by all means.
I enjoy the grind in Apex Legends.
I
But
knew
the
he was going to
grind-
bring us back to Apex.
but the grind is wonderful. Let me tell you why. Because you get points for playing different characters, and you're so let's say I get, I don't know, 500 points for playing 2 matches as character A, right?
Mhm.
And those matches may last 3 minutes because I drop and I die, but I still get those points, and it's still part of the grind. Then I can move on to something else. It's boom, 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 boom. I just have a really really bad. I can't pay attention for a whole long for long enough to do a long serious grind. I can't.
Okay.
You know, it's got to hold my attention.
Speaking of
Um,
Apex, there's a free skin if you log in up until I think
Woohoo.
was like the 17th or something like that. I can't remember. It was for
Nice.
Survivor, for Jedi Survivor. It looks like a BD skin.
Okay. Well,
There you go.
I
Fun fact.
I like all the free skins you get on Apex, which I'm going to need to plug in my PlayStation again and download it because the new season starts today. Hey, real quick, we have over 400 people watching over on Rumble. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Hit the follow
Rumble's
button.
kicking YouTube's ass. We only got 289 on YouTube.
That's right.
Shout out to Rumble. What up, Rumble?
Hey,
Let's go.
once again, people ask why we stream on Rumble, why we stream on everywhere. This is why. We're casting the net as wide as we possibly can, and I love it. Hey, Rumble, great to see you guys. We're here every Monday through Friday from 11 to whenever we want to stop talking. I will say this. YouTube is killing Rumble from a super chat versus Rumble rant perspective, though. So we'll say that. But thank you so much, YouTube, for the support. Mark came in with the 279, says play Half-Life, also 98 as a control sample. Right. Well, that PC master race right there.
I don't remember the last time I played Half-Life, but what an amazing game when that came out. Holy shit.
Paul Hadouken gifted a membership. Thank you so much, Paul. Greatly appreciate that. Then J Marks came in with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, J Marks.
Nice.
And not to be outdone, Bill came in. Bill came in with 5 gifted memberships. Hell
Wow.
yes. We're at 13 gifted memberships today. Our by the way, our record is 19 in a day. So we're closing in. We'll see if we can get
All
there.
right. All right.
Dude came in with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much, dude.
Great name.
Said Metroid Prime is my favorite game of all time, but I still say Super Metroid is the best game of all time. That's interesting. Prime has flaws that I can still overlook, while I can't find any in Super. Ocarina of Time is just a 3D Link to the Past. Just well done. Huh. Interesting. I think that's
kind of see that. All right.
that's an interesting perspective. This is my favorite game, but it's not the best game. I guess it's kind of like me talking about the Mario movie, right? The Mario movie was not the best movie, but it was my favorite movie experience to go to. So yeah, I can see that,
A
dude.
little
I think,
different, but okay.
you know, not exactly parallels, but close enough. Dude, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Really appreciate that. Upus came in with the 100 Danish krones. Says old games really are tough to go back to. Playing games on low resolutions that run 10 to 15 FPS sucks.
Yeah.
That's why
Especially
I
when you
mod.
get more. Yeah.
Yeah, So that's why I mod old games and buy good remasters with Ocarina, with QOL. I'm not sure with QOL features, so old/new players can experience it. Thank you so much, Upus. And I don't think you're alone on that. There's a lot of people who like to do that. They mod old games and upscale them, and you play games that were originally 15 frames and are now 60 frames.
Well, sometimes you have to mod them too because they won't work on like Windows 11 and all that. So you gotta like make them adapt.
Upus was saying quality of life features. Okay, that's what you're saying. So there you go. Travis came in. Thank you so much, Travis.
Hi, Trav.
Thank you, Trav. All right. Travis says, Pensive Scarlet equals people need to know. Final Fantasy VII Remake is actually a sequel. Calling it a remake was a bait and switch. Oh, I didn't know that. Pensive Scarlet, thanks so much for letting us know.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that makes any sense. That it's a sequel, because you start in the very same exact spot, and you go down into blow up the reactor the exact same way. You meet at 7-7. It's the same exact beginning, and then it slowly filters to changes, and then it's like, all right, what are you saying about, like, is it some sort of a time thing where Sephiroth's going back at spoilers? I mean, the game's been out for 3 years, but is Sephiroth somehow figuring out a way to go back in time to try to alter the past so that he's successful with Meteor? Like, come on, really? Like, I don't want that. I want the fucking yeah, exactly. But that's stupid, dude. That's not Final Fantasy VII. That would be Final Fantasy VII 2. Why are you calling it Final Fantasy VII then?
Well, that's what they're saying. That there was a kind of a bait and switch with the term remake on it. It's more of a sequel than a remake. That's what Pensive Scarlet was saying. So,
but stupid.
It's stupid. J Mark skipped it.
I hate time travel shit, man. It's so fucking lazy.
And now every movie's doing it too lately. So yeah.
It's
Indiana Jones.
Lazy.
J Marks and Travis both gifted memberships. Thank you guys very much. Really appreciate that. And Yellow Flash came in with the 5. Yellow Flash, by the way, looking forward to playing some Ninja Turtles with you coming up on.
I believe he called Donatello, by the way.
Okay, all right, you got Don. Sounds fun.
Which is kind of sad because that's my go-to, but I'm fine. I roll with the punches. So
I love it. Yellow Flash says, "I still love N64 games, but I can see through the nostalgia. But I see them through nostalgia. I agree with Craig and Adam. The games are still good, but they don't hold up as well." Yellow Flash, I would love. I think that would be a really interesting show. I don't think that's a side scroller show, but I think like what we're doing now and talking about individual games and going back and taking, not necessarily a critical look, but going back and looking them and devoting a single, like an episode, whether it's 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, where you just talk about a singular game for a certain amount of time, and you kind of re-digest it. Was this game really as good? It can be called like rose-colored glasses or something like that, where you're seeing if you're
good name.
I'm just
one of the things about Mario games is that they're so timeless. Like side scrollers are so easy to just pick up and play. They're just fun. Like a freaking 5-year-old can pick up a Mario game from 2000, 97, 98, 95, whatever, mid 90s, and be able to play it and enjoy it and have fun. It's not about who cares about the graphics. It doesn't matter. It's just like, oh, there's jump, run, forward. It's like it's very easy. You can pick it up and play it. Certain game. Well, there's other games that I feel like I could play forever, and anyone could pick up and play, like Final Fantasy Tactics, the original Final Fantasy Tactics. Not any of the. Well, War of the Lions, actually, they did add some cool stuff. It wasn't bad. It was like some cool cutscenes and stuff. But like that game is fantastic. If you like the story and the gameplay, anyone will love that kind of game. I mean, there's a lot of games now that are trying to emulate that vibe. It's like the top-down, chess-like battles. Tactics Ogre is pretty cool. I'm playing the second one. I haven't played it in a while, actually.
You mentioned like the old school, Mario side scrollers. That's the thing, is these games that's the beauty of the best games, is that they're easy to play, hard to master, right? And whether that's Mario, whether that's Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, that's the beauty of those classic old games. Galaga, those old arcade games, that anybody can play for 30 seconds. but
Yep.
those who are the best, I mean, that they know strategies. It's crazy.
True.
Bill came in with a 10. Says TMNT 2 has one of the best insults when Kino hits on those girls and they say in your dreams. Kino responds with, "Yeah, well, maybe in my dreams I'll think of someone thinner."
Damn.
I remember that. It's at the very beginning of the movie. Yeah. Oh man,
Oof.
pretty raw. Body shaming, man, it's crazy.
It's not allowed anymore.
Mike came in and says, if you ever watched Waterworld, play the game for Virtual Boy. They did an amazing portrayal of it. I don't think we'll be playing the Waterworld game on the Virtual Boy anytime soon, Mike, but thank you very much. Blake came in with a 5. Once again, you guys support today. Outstanding. Really
Crazy.
appreciate that.
Amazing.
He said, Super Metroid used to be my favorite game of all time. My stubborn ass finally accepted that Dread is the better game. Wow. And that's a game I have yet to play, the Metroid Dread game.
I have it, and I played a little bit of it, and I freaking loved it. And I don't know why I just haven't picked my Switch up. I gotta freaking play that game. That was fun.
You know what we gotta do? We gotta play Mario Kart again, and actually have Adam play with us, and
I
not
do.
mysteriously lose his internet again.
Yeah,
need to
I mean, I hope that never happens again.
Once again, I want to start, and this is one of those things that it's in the back of my mind. I've been talking about it for a month. I want to do the 150cc circuit as opposed to the 200 Geeks and Gamers circuit, where we have all of our friends come in, and it's a regular weekly thing that we play on a, whatever, Wednesday or Thursday or whatever it may be. And we get a full, everyone who's not 200cc or doesn't want to play 200cc and actually wants to compete at a reasonable level. Yeah, I think that'd be fun to do. M. Freder came back with 30 months of membership. 30 over here on YouTube. Says, I believe in grinding as well and working hard for something. Pay no attention to the lottery tickets I buy. Good luck, M. Freder. Good luck. Saint G came in with a $2 super chat. Says, 289. Well, excuse me, princess. Thank you so much, Saint G. It's a reference to the old OG Zelda
I thought it was
cartoon.
Star Wars with Han Solo also. Doesn't he say that?
Link says that in the Zelda cartoon from like the late 80s. That was his tagline. Well, excuse me, princess. Sal came back with the $5 super chat. Says, you may not like older games, but there's a reason why they're remaking / remastering older games. Modern AAA games lack soul. And nostalgia, by the way. That's why.
Yeah, and they remake them and forget to add the soul.
Yeah.
And Frederick came in with the tier 3 sub over on Twitch. Thank you so much. 27 months is enjoying the day off. And Frederick, thank you so much for that incredible generosity. And Chris came in with the super chat. Says, my hot Zelda takes, Ocarina's Water Temple isn't bad. Master Quest is great. Majora's Mask is a mid-Zelda for hipster nerds. And Skyward Sword is better. Man, Skyward Sword gets a bad rap. I love Skyward Sword. Amazing game. And let's go over to Rumble and read off some Rumble rants real quick. Guys, this has been a really great conversation for an hour and 18 minutes, and we didn't even get to news today, which is amazing.
Adam didn't get to say his thing.
I'm okay with it. I got to tease it a little bit, and look, guys, I prefer a good conversation, especially games. I mean, it's called Side Scrollers. We get to talk about games. Obviously, the audience is really engaged with talking games because we're gamers, man. Gamers are passionate, and I love talking about passion. I love seeing your guys' passion. It's freaking awesome. So
yeah, I think this is interesting. Yeah, it's super fun. Chill of the Sea came in with the Rumble rant. Says Ocarina of Time needs a remake like how they remade the Spyro games recently. All new graphics and fully voice acted. That would make it great for new players. Adding a voice to Link would be a very controversial thing, but it'd be interesting for sure. Diana came in with the $1 Rumble rant. Says late again. I love Zelda, all Zelda, and their shows, and the chat. Thank you so much, Diana. Appreciate that. Followed up with says,
I don't know if you've seen the meme that people share around. I don't even know if it's real or fake, but it's fucking funny. It's like someone said, Zelda should be a man, and then it's like a picture of like a feminized Link, and it's like
Oh yeah.
Zelda is okay.
Right. Um, Diana came in, says came back with lol and this show and there's lol. More Krigler coffee, please. Thank you, Diana. Appreciate that. Make sure you guys order over at KriglerCoffee.com. Diana came back, says you get a bigger cut with Rumble Rant. So let's rumble for supporting our side-scrolling gang. Hey, let's go. Much bigger cut over on Rumble. Frank came in with the $5 Rumble Rant. Says Rumble greater than YouTube. Thank you, Frank. Greatly appreciate that. That is awesome. Yeah. And then we're back at it over here on YouTube as Sal came back and says Resident Evil 3 Remake is an example of soulless. Never did not get a chance to play that. Blake says we also didn't get the Bill Maher F off clip. Well, there hasn't really been no need for that.
We can't just bust that out just cuz, it's got to have a right cause.
And I'm not just going to do it right now because that would be very tacky.
Exactly.
Like it needs to come at the right time,
And it would almost feel like you'd be saying it to him for suggesting that or talking about it.
No, I wouldn't do that.
It would be rude.
Absolutely not. Thank you guys once again for popping in over on Rumble. Lots of new follows over there.
Fuck off, you oversensitive little shits.
Oh, sorry. No.
What was that?
The timing was wrong, dude. I'm sorry. Yeah, you failed that.
GG's.
I was trying to get to it on the side while not acknowledging it. No, but Rumble, thank you guys very much. Make sure you guys hit the follow button.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn, Fretter. Oh! Hey.
Wow. Holy shit. What was our previous record?
Well,
19, wasn't it?
Previous record was 19. That has been outdone by M. Fretter themselves with 20 gifted memberships. Yeah. Hey, let's paint the chat green over on YouTube. Everybody's green. Everybody's green. After M. Fretter came in with a 20, a new record has been set. 33 gifted memberships today.
That is Oprah Winfrey style. You get a membership day. And you get a membership.
That's right. That's right, man. Crowns up in the chat. There you go. M. Fretter says someone said 19, and all I heard was a challenge. Oh man, that's awesome. 33 total gifted members. There it is right there. That's the record today.
33.
That's awesome. Thank you very much, M. Fretter. That is out freaking standing. 20 gifted memberships, 33 total memberships. Now we just got to get that thumbs up marker. So if you guys are tuning in, once again, hit the thumbs up over on YouTube and on Rumble. That would be great. Man, what a killer show. How fun. We not a single drop of news today. Not a single drop of news. We're gonna.
No. Oh, wait. No. Oh, sorry. I heard news.
Poor Adam.
I was okay.
He was pretty excited.
Mm-hmm. No. But I'll say this: I'm gonna hold off to some of this, but I did tease this, and I want to make sure. This talked about. This is not hard news, but I did talk about this at the start of the show. I think it's important.
Hard news.
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. It's
What's
not
I was ready.
A little hard news.
That's a 10 out of 10. I like that.
All right.
A little.
Baby news.
Whoa. All right.
That's cute.
It's my job.
No. This is actually baby news because Robert De Niro is having his 7th baby at age 79.
He's gonna break a hip.
That's fucking sad.
I agree. I think
baby's never gonna know his dad.
Exactly, Blabs. 79? Really?
Yeah.
Really, Bob?
Really, Bob?
Because we're bros.
Come on, Bob.
Wrap it, bro.
79
Wrap it.
years old, having a baby. Here it is. Right here's let me just read the story. 79-year-old Robert De Niro is proof that you can still make serious life changes in your later years, like having babies, for example, which he recently did. I would say this is maybe not like having babies, maybe like choosing your death plot, but that's all right. Like you're plotting the ground, but that's all right.
Wait a second. Didn't he just get a divorce and like this woman is taking everything from him? So who do you have a baby with?
Can I
Sugar mama?
hold on? Can I ask a serious question here?
Yes,
Why the fuck do we give a shit about this?
because he's 79. That's why. Because he's 79 years old.
Trombones.
That's why. 79. I just I don't know the last time that I heard of anybody. I mean, like he should have great.
I bet there's
grandkids.
other 79-year-olds out there that are freaking knocking people up.
I don't know any. I'll be honest.
Yeah, because it doesn't make the fucking news. No one gives a shit.
There is
It's
no
not because he's 79. It's because it's Robert De Niro. And
are-
I don't fucking care. I'm sorry. No, I
I'm
don't.
seriously interested. Who is like? Does he have a sugar mama or something? Because like he was getting a nasty divorce. So who is this woman?
I don't know, but it has nothing to do with him being Robert De
is
Niro.
this?
It has everything to do with him being 79. That's what's interesting to me for sure. So, well, either way, I teased it. I thought we'd talk about it. There's your baby news today. Tommy Trees came in and says that's going to be Adam, Robert De Niro, if he doesn't get to work now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, from like in his 30s to all of a sudden Adam's 79 and I'm blinking.
Calm yourself. Calm yourself, sir.
Calm yourself, please.
Jeez.
By the way, if you guys are watching over on Rumble, hit the follow button. We are closing in on 1,000 follows over there. So hit the follow button over on Rumble. Really appreciate that, man. Wow. Okay. Well, I think, look, like I said, we're going to head over to, we're at about an hour and a half right now. So we're going to head over to patreon.com/sidescrollers. We're going to head over there right now. Listen, I got an advertisement I'm going to show Blabs and Adam. And this is a big, giant, big pharma ad that I am fascinated with, that I can't wait to share with them. And I want to get y'all's thoughts on it.
Can I freely speak about it? Or can I? Can we just do that, please? So our after show can be fully uncensored, please.
Well, we're
Can we
technically
please do
still on
that?
YouTube. We're technically still on YouTube in that case.
Fucking hate it.
I
hate
know.
it.
I know.
Look at him,
I
he's
know.
gritting his teeth.
I need that changed. We need to be fully uncensored, man.
Uncensored.
I'll tell you. You know what?
Uncensus.
You know what?
Uncensor
Okay.
me.
How about this? To help push to Rumble a little bit further, we always have the post show over on Patreon, but today let's do the post show over on Rumble. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just as a little hey, go on over there and join us over there. Does that sound
We can
good?
speak freely on Rumble.
You can speak freely over at Rumble. So
I have said some things that I've gotten strikes on YouTube for.
So let's
on
do
Rumble.
that. All right, I put the link in the chat over on YouTube. So let's go over to Rumble and let's have this, because we're going to be talking about this today, okay? And while you're over at Rumble, you can hit the follow button. That's a great way. Maybe we can get to 900, 1,000, I don't know. So join us over there. Would really appreciate it, and we'll continue on. So you guys watching over on Twitch, let me make sure to put it over there as well. Hold
Oh,
on.
I already did it.
Oh, you did over on Twitch. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
So let's head over to Rumble
Blabs.
for the first time. Good on you, Blabs. So with that said,
Good little mod.
let's get out of here. Adam, you got anything before we go?
People are gonna let you down. That's your job. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He was like,
He was like about to have a pouting tantrum.
I swear, Steam almost blew his headphones open. Anyway, I am looking forward to this Friday. Mark the Cyborg and I are going to be playing Diablo 4. The beta is coming back for its third time, second open beta, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be playing. It's his birthday as well, so definitely come by and say hi. I'll be on my Rumble stream and locals. And then, of course, Forbidden Frontier on Sunday nights. We're interviewing Jimmy Corsetti. I'm very excited to talk to him. He's from Bright Insights on YouTube. Great channel. Definitely check that out. I don't know if I'm going to do Tuesday Titans tonight because Georgia Giant Slayer was feeling down and out over the past couple days. So, but it was a lot of fun to do Base F Monday with just me and Flawdzilla yesterday, which is of course coming after my show of kicking his ass in one-on-one in Destiny 2, but he did get the bug and the desire to get better at it. So definitely check out my streams though. I stream Monday through Friday over on Rumble. Can you turn that down a little bit? Actually, I mean, it's kind of obnoxious. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm usually talking while it's happening, so
yeah, I couldn't hear myself think there. But yeah, over on my Rumble channel, the Krigler Show, I stream on locals as well, Monday through Friday. I try to do it 4 p.m. and that's a lot of fun. But thanks all for tuning in and supporting us. Blabs,
fire away.
Hi, I'm gonna be on Kick tonight, guys. Me and myself and Mr. Grant Gregory will be playing. We'll be actually looking at e-thoughts on Kick and their throne wish lists. They have some really interesting shit there, so we're gonna have fun. We're gonna laugh a lot.
Cool.
Hang out with us.
All right. Well, let's once again head over to Rumble. You can find us over at rumble.com/sidescrollers or the link that is in the chat. So we're going to head over there. Once again, we're not going to be over on Patreon today, but if you guys would like to support over on Patreon, you can. Patreon.com/sidescrollers. With that said, guys, we look forward to seeing you over on Rumble. It is free to everybody today. So head on over there right now, where the show will continue over on Rumble right now. We can speak freely, as they say. With that said, guys, remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. I will see you guys tonight. Tonight, on my show, we're going to have a music stream where we talk about the best video game music. It's going to be tonight, 10 o'clock. I love those streams. They're going to be super fun. That'll be on YouTube, Twitch, and Rumble tonight as well. But as for now, Twitch, time to say goodbye. Goodbye.
Fatality.
YouTube, both YouTubes. This is kind of weird saying bye to YouTube first. YouTube, you guys have a great day. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Oh, that was satisfying. Giving YouTube the fatality.
Head over to Rumble right now. All right, there we go. We are done over there. Let's go ahead and